This is Qtv News and I am Jenna Bosonko. Thanks for joining us. First, the main local, international and sports news headlines. An ambitious project to rehabilitate and establish a technical vocational education training or TVET center at Crab Island is close to completion. The Birkama Area Council with its partners have on Sunday conducted cleanup exercise at Old Yundu Market and Tenje Fish Landing site to improve the sanitary conditions of the two public places. A community has taken matters into their own hands and inaugurated their own street lighting. In business news, a couple from Bakau over the weekend officially inaugurated a lodge called Bojang's River Lodge in Bakau Cape Point. In international news, in 2021, 3 sitting African heads of state had been in power for more than 3 decades each: Teodoro Obiang in Equatorial Guinea, Paul Biya in Cameroon, and Yoweri Museveni in Uganda. The last named of these is seeking a 6th term in office. As part of the fallout from the invasion of the capital by his supporters and his part in it, American President Donald Trump has been banned by Twitter and other social media platforms. In sports news, we hear about the exciting climax to the Basse Grassroots Under-20 football final. Well, those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us. The project to rehabilitate and establish a technical vocational education training at TVET Center at Crab Island is close to completion. This ambitious project is seeking to address unemployment and supply the jobs market with skills that are in high demand. QTV's Mamadou Lamin Choi has been finding out about the facility and its impact on the people.
Until recently, these classroom blocks were part of Crab Island Upper Basic, one of Gambia's oldest schools that served the country for more than 6 decades. This part of the school is being renovated to serve a new purpose to provide technical vocational education training for the out-of-school youth and our conventional school system. The person behind this initiative, Usman Silla, a National Assembly member for Banjul North, tells me about the project's goals.
Well, this center is going to be a facility that is going to be, as I can say, as the saying goes, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We are going to serve the out-of-school youth. That was our initial initiative. Those that are out in the streets, no schools, no jobs, no skills. How to cater for them, to enable them acquire skills, livelihood skills, where they will be earning decent income to support themselves. If they want to build a families, to support their families. If they have parents, also to support parents. And also to contribute towards the development of the country.
This land for the project was allocated by the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, who have supported the project since its inception. One of the goals of the project is to also serve the mainstream schools in Banjul for students who opt for vocational training courses. Skills training in plumbing, bricklaying, satellite and solar installations, electric wiring, tiling are among the training courses to be on the curriculum. The plan was informed by a survey sponsored by MOPSI that targeted out-of-school youth and stakeholders in the job market.
In fact, what I said initially was that we want to do away with prescribing solutions for people. What we did was we agreed to have an out-of-school youth survey to go out in the community, and then 300 young people were identified from within the Greater Banjul area. In fact, 2 were from the provinces, but the majority, the rest were from the Greater Banjul area, Banjul up to Birkama, to inquire from them what skills do they want to acquire. And then the skills areas that we are offering now are as a result of those engagements, those inquiries, that survey.
Rehabilitation work at this facility is sponsored by MRC Holland Foundation, and it is expected to finish in the coming few weeks. There is already a planned administrative structure called Crab Island TVET Foundation that will manage the affairs of this skills training center. One of the problems the administration will be tackling is how to facilitate the employability of the trainees in a country where many trained youth struggle to find decent jobs.
We're going to train them by helping them acquire the skills. We're going to impart the skills, help them establish enterprises, and then help them to be, offering their services. And we're also going to help them in looking for markets. We'll be going to government, knocking government's doors so that they'll be offering contracts to them, these cooperatives. To private concerns, to offering contracts, to the community, appealing to the community to be offering them contracts so that, they'll be applying their skills and then thereby earning income, decent income.
By proximity, Banjul youth will be among the first who stand to benefit from the TVET facility. Some of them who speak to QTV are delighted at the initiative, praising it as the best way of addressing their needs for skilled training and employability in the job market. The TVET facility needs to quickly start operations because in the Gambia, many of our youth will finish or drop out of school and end up in the streets jobless. They are sometimes labeled useless by the society, when some of them are only out of work because they lack the support. But with the TVET facility, people like me can get formal training for academic credentials that can get us jobs or contracts. A similar sentiment was shared by Seyas Sahir Mbai, a Banjul resident, for whom the training facility is coming to contribute towards the development of the youth and the community. Mohamed Lamin Choy, QTV News.
The Birkama Area Council with its partners have on Sunday conducted a clean-up exercise at Old Yundu Market and Tanje Fish Landing site to improve the sanitary conditions of the two public places. Market vendors praised the initiative but also pleaded for more major cleanups, especially during weekends. Mohamed Lamin Choy again.
This is the Old Yundu Market, where a civil society organization is joining forces with the Birkama Area Council for a major clean-up exercise. The market is under the jurisdiction of the Birkama Area Council, which is responsible for managing its waste. Together Africa Gambia organization is collaborating with the council for a major clean-up of the market as part of an initiative to address waste management and sanitary needs of the vendors.
When you talk of development, as a civil society organization, we deem necessary to involve the stakeholders of the region, because we feel is the right way and we feel that's how it should be. Because as a civil society organization, we alone cannot do this. So it's need for us to bring the stakeholders, on board.
The Old Yundu Market is one of the largest markets in the Commonwealth District, where a wide variety of goods are sold. The Birkama Area Council, with its new waste collection trucks now in operation, its CEO tells QTV that they are having regular efforts to maintain proper sanitation at markets under its purview, which sometimes includes partnership with organizations.
Currently, as we speak, we have improved capacity, to fulfill that mandate, that responsibility. We have our new trucks which are on the road, 8 new trucks, and then that have improves our coverage levels, of the major growth centers in the region, including, of course, this market. And then it is important that we join hands with stakeholders to ensure that the environment is kept clean. All of us have a responsibility.
This is a market that has faced serious waste management concerns in recent times, causing for action from stakeholders for a solution. Some local residents have complained about what they say are the unsanitary conditions of a market, where foodstuffs make up a significant proportion of wares on sale. The CEO of the Birkama Area Council indicates that the council does regular collection of waste to keep the market environment clean, a claim that this shop owner has confirmed to be true, but with a plea. This is a good initiative. It will make the market clean. I will urge that such good work to be held on a regular basis. In fact, not only the market should be clean, but a special day could be dedicated to cleaning our communities. This cleansing exercise is followed by another one at the Tanje Fish Landing site, where representatives from the Combo South Youth Committee, View the Reality Foundation, Tanje Fish Landing Site Committee, and the National Environment Agency are also collaborating with the Birkama Area Council for a major cleanup. The partners in the exercise share a common purpose in doing this for one of the busiest commercial centers of the Combo South District in Tanje.
We see that Area Council is the main body who is responsible for all this. So it's like we are helping them in one of the areas. So that's why we deem it important to partner with Area Council.
What these two major initiatives can teach us is the significance of more community collaboration with councils to address our waste management problems for cleaner, healthier environments. Another important point for us all to note is that it is not only the council's responsibility to keep the environment safe and clean, but our collective obligation should guide our actions towards the sustainable proper sanitation we desire. Mohamed Lamin Choy, QTV News.
The community of Bukoto Ward in Pirang West Coast region inaugurated their own street lighting project on Sunday. The community initiative is called Lighten Bukoto 2021. Our reporter Momodo Gajaga attended the ceremony and he fastened this report.
There is brightness in the community as night fell. This project is the brainchild of youth in the world who said the development of their community is their objective. Their efforts were led by youth coordinator Lamin Sedili.
It also helped us very well because we are in a village. Obviously, there is no compound here which is not surrounded by a fence behind. So at some point, it's only the compounds that has a lighting issues. But the backyard of the compounds doesn't have anything like a lighting purpose. So that's why we come up with this idea. You can send a child, you can move freely, and you can do so many things whilst you are within the community with a brightening and lighting everywhere.
Bukoto is a small community of about 75 compounds, and residents have embarked on a series of projects to improve the well-being of people of the community, with the street lighting project being one of those. Karamo Dafe is an advisor to the Bukoto Youth Association.
Fonga bloka funyoma kaje ko kurango be sateto bare wal benkunto. It
is as a result of darkness after the street lights installed by NAWEC became non-functional. We came together as a people to contribute some money to buy electric light bulbs to light our streets, complementing the efforts of government. Fatu Sonko, a women's representative, says they will support their male counterpart in their development endeavor for the community.
So mbemo be Danila, ise wakili mbe minnanga lafa musolu alingante city.
I am appealing to all to double their efforts. Let's do more. I know we have played our part, but I still urge you to do more. We should give more support to our male companions.
Residents of Bukoto Ward in Piram village say the street lights has helped the community with security and safety at night. The project has also inspired people from other wards in the village, such as Janko Solo Toure and Mustafa Sanyang, who all commended the community for the initiative. Bukoto Ward has shown signs of brightness with these street lights. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
We will take a short commercial break, and still to come, we have local, business, international and sports news. Do stay tuned. Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now, the community of Maria Makunda and its environs on Saturday received free eye care treatment provided by Imam Buhari Center for Islamic Studies in partnership with Guimam Eye Care Association. Babakar Sise has the rest of that.
Imam Buhari Center for Islamic Studies and Guimam Eye Care Association aim to provide easy access and free medical treatment for eye patients in these communities. Babu Njai, the PRO of Imam Buhari Center for Islamic Studies, explains their objectives and the treatment procedure for patients.
Imam Buhari is out to assist people in all aspects of life. We have been doing so many things for the people of the country and beyond the country in all aspects of life. But today, we are confining ourselves within the health sector. As we all know, health is very key. As they said, they will be looking at the patients. They will screen the patients, and then if they discover that the issue you are suffering from, if they can solve it here, it will be solved here, and then you will be given medication. All the medications are here. They are available here through the intervention of Markaz Imam Buhari.
Muhammad Sise, one of the leaders of Imam Buhari Center for Islamic Studies, has this to say.
Gambia banko nyimun telul tam Gambiati andun kana betu government nyimbul.
We should help each other because Gambia belongs to us. Let us not leave everything for the government because they cannot do it alone. We should help each other so that the country can develop. Sambumbai, the Secretary General of Guimam Eye Care Association, speaks about the objective of his association.
To prevent needle pick blindness, to see how can we control the prevalences of blindness in the country. At the same time, we raise awareness so that people can know so many things when it comes to eye conditions. That's our main aim, and we want to reach each and every person. No, voluntarily, we do free screening. We give free services.
A beneficiary who got medication for his eyes has this to say. The doctors gave me an eye drop and it is in 5 pieces. I should apply it in the morning and in the evening, and I should use all of them. My eyes itches and releases water sometimes. The communities were also advised on how to take care of their eyes to prevent diseases and injuries, especially to children who are more vulnerable. Imam Bukhari Center for Islamic Studies was established in 2017 to offer humanitarian services. Since then, many development projects have been implemented in the country. The center provides scholarship for students, including orphans, build mosques and boreholes for communities, and deliver free health care services to the needy in the Gambia and Senegal. Babakar Sise, Qtv News.
Now on to some business news. A couple from Bakau over the weekend officially inaugurated a lodge called Bojang's River Lodge in Bakau Cape Point. The duo say they want to revive tourism in Bakau and help alleviate youth unemployment among youth in Bakau. Babakar C has the rest of that.
The Bojangs want to be in the forefront of reviving tourism in the country and Bakau in particular. According to them, the idea of constructing this magnificent lodge is to provide quality not only for foreign tourists, but to also make it affordable for the Gambians as well. The proprietor Lamin Bojang says he used to be a tour guide and wants to bring back tourists to Bakau, as it used to be one of the busiest tourist towns in the country.
Because Lafale, she's no master Bakau. So, but now she's no better Bakau because my opportunity she follows Sotojang.
Bakau used to be a tourist destination, but because of the lack of opportunities, everything has shifted away. As a youth of Bakau and having the opportunity, my target is to bring the tourist season back to our community, because it saddens me as a tour guide to escort tourists to other villages and towns and not my own town. Bakau used to be the busiest tourist destination, but it's not anymore, because everyone is shifting attention to other places, and this should not be. We have the beach and many other attractions in our town, so it should be our responsibility as natives of our community to do our best and give back. Lamin's wife Amanda Bojang said the Gambia is her second home, and thus the idea of building a lodge as a way to give back to the community of Bakau was an easy decision.
Well, we're not just targeting obviously the tourism, we're targeting obviously Gambians and people that live within the Gambia, because some people just want a short break. They just want to get away from their life. They might live inland and just want to come down to Cape Point just for a day or two. So we're targeting the short breaks, the stay vacations as we would call it in the UK, where you just travel to another area and just stay. So part of our target area is obviously the Gambians and people living in the Gambia to have short breaks away from them. Yeah, this is phase one. So as you can see, the lodges is our phase one. So our next phase is to build the banter bars, the restaurant, a stage, so we'll be able to entertain in that area, so you're going to have a better view of the sea. I love this country. It's my second home. I wanted to come and invest in the Gambia, and I wanted it to be for the Gambian people and for the people of Bakau. And this is obviously what I've achieved here, and that's what we put across that we've done.
The Lord Mayor of KMC, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, expressed his delight at witnessing the opening of the lodge and urged the couple to create more employment for the youth of Bakau.
It is part of our municipality, and it is an investment that will create jobs, bring investment to Bakau, which is a community I am from and I'm very proud of. And we'd like to thank Amanda and Lamin for choosing this place to invest. They could have taken their money anywhere, or they chose to invest in their community. Our advice is to always involve the youths of the community, because we all know unemployment is a major issue here in the Gambia and in Bakau. During my campaign, many youths complained about the lack of job opportunities, especially in the tourism sector. And we know Amanda and Lamin have the heart and passion to make sure employment is created.
The beautiful structure located at the K Point end is made up of different rooms with exquisite furniture located facing the front of the beach. According to the couple, the lodge will be expanded further as more buildings are due to be constructed, including a swimming pool, and a performance stage will also be built. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Now on to some international news. Ugandans go to the poll on January 14 and 70-year-old President Yoweri Museveni, in power since 1986, will be contesting for a sixth elected term in office against 11 other candidates, including the pop star turned musician Bobi Wine. But what accounts for Museveni's political longevity? Momodu Mboj looks at this.
President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda is the third longest-serving African head of state, behind Teodoro Obiang of Equatorial Guinea, in power since 1979, and Paul Biya of Cameroon, in power since 1982. In fact, Cameroon has only had 2 presidents in 60 years of independence. Museveni's National Resistance Army, which later transformed into the Civilian National Resistance Movement, swept into power on 26 January 1986 in a blaze of glory. People saw them as liberators, bringers of peace after years of civil unrest. It is a narrative that the vast majority of Ugandans, 75% of whom are under 30, have been raised on and are reminded of at every opportunity. Critics say the president has survived this long in power through a combination of encouraging a personality cult, employing patronage, compromising independent institutions, and sidelining opponents. Yet, according to at least one journalist who worked closely with him in the early years, the president often brushed aside any suggestion of his wanting to stay in power for the rest of his life. Of course not, is reportedly how he once responded to such a question, adding that he would rather go back to his farm. Indeed, he regarded such questions as an insult to him. However, in 2004, something appeared to have changed, according to critics. His MPs endorsed an amendment to the Constitution, removing the clause on presidential term limit, which would have barred him from running for office after 2005. In 2017, the age limit for a presidential candidate was also removed, which, according to reports, led to scuffles on the floor of Parliament and a police raid on the building. The judiciary has also been accused of recruiting so-called cadre judges who are loyal to the government. But even where the courts acquit suspects, they could be rearrested, or the judges could themselves be in trouble with the authorities. Media outlets get raided and journalists detained and beaten up. Since early November, police officers and members of the public have harassed and attacked at least 7 journalists covering campaigns for the country's upcoming presidential elections, according to reports by local press rights groups. But most significantly, political opponents are subject to arrests, detentions, and brutal treatment by the state security forces. Kiza Bezeje of the Opposition Forum for Democratic Change, once Mr. Museveni's physician, who first ran against the president in the 2001 election, has been detained and prosecuted on numerous charges, including rape and treason, but has never been convicted. His main challenger in the January 14th election, the pop star turned politician Bobi Wine, also known as the ghetto president, was just about to turn 4 when Museveni came to power. He came into politics in 2017, forming the National Unity Platform Party, which has been drawing large crowds at their rallies and, unsurprisingly, the attention of the security forces. He has started wearing a bulletproof vest and protective helmet. In December, a bullet was shot through his vehicle's windscreen, narrowly missing a passenger. Earlier, in November, at least 54 people were left dead after police and soldiers moved in to break up protests over his arrest. His star appeal is not only confined to Uganda. Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka is quoted as saying, and I quote, "Bobi Wine, for me right now, represents the face of democracy for Uganda." However, the national coordinator for the Afrobarometer survey in Uganda argues that the national resistance movement supporters see the party and the president as the guarantor of peace, and it is not clear whether Bobi Wine's National Unity Party has done enough to transcend opposition politics and chip away at the huge vote that President Museveni and the NRM have gained in previous elections. The man who once represented the future is now seen by many as the embodiment of the past. This has perhaps been the leitmotif of African politics since independence. This is Wole Soyinka on Museveni, and I quote, "At the time we met, it was still possible to consider him a democratic leader. Today he's joined the gang, the enemies of society." For Qtv News, I am Mamadou Mbodj.
As part of the fallout from the invasion of the Capitol by his supporters and his part in it, American President Donald Trump has been banned by Twitter and other social media platforms. The social media ban is one of the several fallouts from the events on Capitol Hill. President Trump used social media extensively from the beginning of his presidency to get his messages out to his many followers. Now, social media platforms, including Twitter, his favorite medium, have reacted by shutting his accounts for spreading falsehood. The Capitol riot was meant to disrupt the Electoral College during a joint session of Congress to formalize President-elect Joe Biden's election victory. Now that President Trump is banned from most social media platforms, Parler, the so-called free speech app, which could have been a last resort for him, although he is yet to be a user, may not be the alternative he might hope for. The site is in danger of going out of business. Apple, Google, and most recently Amazon have withdrawn support for Parler. Parler has long been a home for what some might call untouchables, people excluded from mainstream services for offenses such as blatant racism or violence. Supporters of President Trump had already cited using Parler to encourage violence, which pushed Amazon to pull its support. There were reports over the weekend from the American media that, following his Twitter ban, President Trump tried to use the President of the United States account to tweet and was blocked by Twitter from doing so. According to misinformation experts and civil rights experts, these actions, coming just few days before the end of Trump's presidency, are too little too late. They have long warned about the rise of misinformation and violence right-wing rhetoric on social media sites on Trump's role in fueling it. Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, has given interviews saying banning his father accounts to clamping down on free speech. Trump Sr.'s leverage of social media to spread propaganda and dangerous falsehoods has gone largely unchecked amid a vacuum of laws regulating government speech on social media, said Assistant Professor of Communication at Syracuse University. Outgoing President Trump's woes are not confined to bans from social media. The repercussions are also being felt by his party. U.S. businesses have cut Republican Party donations because of the Capitol attack. This include Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, JP Morgan, and Citigroup, two big banks in the U.S., and Marriott International, the world's largest hotel company, amongst others. The U.S. digital payments company Stripe announced on Sunday that it would no longer process payments for Trump's campaign website, hindering the president's abilities to raise funds. In another blow, the U.S. Professional Golfers Association announced today that it will not host the PGA final at Trump National in Bedminster in 2022, as its organizers felt using the course as a host venue would be detrimental. The PGA of America voted to terminate the agreement on Sunday, with the PGA president, Jim Richardson, saying it has become clear that conducting the PGA championship at Trump Bedminster would be detrimental to the GPA of America brand and would put at risk the GPA's ability to deliver our many programs and sustain the longevity of our mission. No one knows what President Trump's views are, as he has not been able to get onto social media to say. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Songo. Now on to some sports news. The only football academy in Basse, Bena Basse Football Academy, on Saturday won the Basse Grassroots Under-20 football final 5-4 in a penalty shootout against the Kabakama Boys Kansala FC after a dramatic 1-1 draw at the Basse Mini Stadium.
After a tightly contested opening, it took till 25 minutes for the first goal to be scored. Kansala's young goal poacher Samba Kamara was the one who broke the deadlock. Despite several chances to get an equalizer, the Bena Basse Football Academy went into half-time a goal down. At the resumption of the second half, the Bena Basse team increased the pressure to find an equalizer without success. The Kansala boys were close to wrapping up the match when their striker latched onto a loose ball from a Bena Basse defender, but luckily the last defender was alerted to the danger and cleared off the goal line to stop his side from going 2 goals down. Kansala must have been dreaming that the victory was theirs. However, there was a dramatic turnaround with only 2 minutes left on the clock. Sergio Conte of Bena Basse tried a long-range shot from outside the 18-yard box, which flew through the hands of Kansala goalie to level the scores. As neither side could find the winner in the remaining couple of minutes, the game went to the drama of penalty shootout. Bena Basse were crowned winners after successfully converting all their 5 spot kicks, while Kansala scored 4 of their 5. After the match, the Kansala head coach Ibrahima Kante said his team remained unbeaten until the final, so he is not disappointed despite losing.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, because of ila trophy of football. We thank God because since we started, we were unbeaten until today. So for me, it's not disappointing, and I'm very happy for my players. Fakeba Suso, the head coach of Bena Basse, shared his joy and described what the win meant.
I'm just feeling very happy and proud. This was the promise I give to my fans and also my players, and then thank God we came here and kept the promise. We are so happy. This is what we wanted and this is what we have. For the Danjo, the chairman of Basse Area Council and sponsor expressed delight at the completion of a tournament hosted and completed peacefully.
I'm very, very happy indeed. Happy in the sense that the tournament went successfully without any problem. My doors are always open to support the young people, and I always emphasize that.
Modu Jete, the chairman of the organizing committee, thanked the sponsors and his committee and says that he and his committee will continue to organize such activities for the young footballers in the region.
As far as we are concerned, we are trying to knock all doors to find sponsors. If it will be even more than 10 trophies. We will play more than 10 trophies, inshallah, as far as we are concerned.
The captain of Bena Basse and other young footballers who participated in the tournament thanked the organizers for giving them the chance to excel and urged them to keep up the good work. At the end of the tournament, amongst other interesting awards giving, were the best differently able player of the tournament, the best female coach, and the young promising players respectively. The winners took home $15,000 cash and a trophy, and the runners-up received $10,000 cash. The winners were surrounded by joyous supporters as they went off to celebrate. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. An ambitious project to rehabilitate and establish a technical vocational education training or TVET center at Crab Island is close to completion. The Brikama Area Council with its partners have on Sunday conducted a cleanup exercise at Old Yundu Market and Tanje Fish Landing site to improve the sanitary conditions of the 2 public places. A community has taken matters into their own hands and inaugurated their own street lighting. In business news, a couple from Bakau over the weekend officially inaugurated a lodge called Bojang's River Lodge in Bakau Cape Point. In international news, in 2021, 3 sitting African heads of state had been in power for more than 3 decades each: Teodoro Obiang in Equatorial Guinea, Paul Biya in Cameroon, and Yoweri Museveni in Uganda. The last name of these is seeking a 6th term in office. As part of the fallout from the invasion of the capital by his supporters and his part in it, American President Donald Trump has been banned by Twitter and other social media platforms. In sports news, we heard about the exciting climax to the Basse Grassroots Under-20 football final. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a great week ahead.